We're
we
mixing.
do what we want, man.
You guys are great at making music, but that doesn't mean like you can put a set together like how DJs do it. We don't.
Yeah.
We don't worry about producing, obviously, but we worry about how to blend them and kind of weave a story out of all the songs that you have in your crate. Versus like you guys were like, I made this beat. This is dope. People must hear about it.
Podcasts and stuff we just started.
Okay. Cool beans.
That's just how I started. Who am I here with today?
Jeska.
You sure? There was like an there. There was like some thought.
Jeska. Yes, I'm pretty sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Who is Jessica?
Well, Jeska, I'm a DJ. I've been doing it for like maybe probably 6 years. And yeah, I mean, people know me as Jessie Ma or Jessie. Doesn't matter. They call me however, Jessie, Jeska.
Where that name came from?
Jeska?
No, not your real name. The Jessie Ma or the other one.
Jessie Ma. It's my Chinese name. Nobody could actually pronounce it right. So and somewhere down the line in middle school, someone just started calling me Jessica. And then I was like, okay. And then somehow got shortened to Jessie. So now I'm Jessie. But it doesn't matter. It's just, yeah.
That's what America does, man. It takes it. I remember, so I'm Abraham. And then in Spanish, in Puerto Rican land, in Spanish land, I'm Abraham. But then, this happened more when I moved to Texas because I'm from New York. But Abe, right? A-B-E.
Abe.
And then, some people, it's like, my mom hated it. I didn't care. But A-B-E. But then some people would write down my name and it was just A-B. And I was like, now I'm losing letters now. I'm like, hey, I'm just they still say A, but they just write A-B. I'm like, I'm just going to be A.
I don't think it's you. I think just people can't spell nowadays.
Maybe. I was like, the fuck is Ab? I'm like, no, it's Abe. I'm like.
No, I have friends that are just like, they can't spell it. Like, I have a friend named Kyra. Like, how would you think her name was spelled? Like
Kyra, I would say K-R-Y-A.
K-R-Y-A?
K-R-Y-A.
Kyra? You got it right, but it was K-Y-R-A. So Tyra Bank,
okay.
Kyra, nobody could spell it right. And every time we go out, like, if we go to like Starbucks or like where they write down your name.
Oh man, but that happens. Like I'm not a coffee drinker, but so I've only have one drink at Starbucks. It's a strawberry frappuccino. It's I would make fun of it a lot because it's a big pink drink, and then I would wear black a lot during that time. So I'd be like this dude with like a big pink drink.
Hey, it pops. It's accessory. Just accessorizing.
But a lot of people go there a lot especially when like Instagram was new. They would always post what name they get because they never get the name right.
No, it was really
everybody.
mind-boggling. I mean, if it's simple name like that, Kyra, like you would think K-Y-R-A, it's pretty easy. My cousin's name Yvonne, though. Nobody could spell. Like Yvonne is a French first name, right? So it's Y-V-O-N-N-E. So if she goes, nobody could spell her name, and it ended up being like Evan or something like E-V-A-N, because she would say Yvonne, and then that's what they came up with. I was like, kids cannot spell nowadays.
It's hard, man.
Just sound it out.
Nah, man, this is the reason why God made Google. or for your team, Siri and friends,
Siri or Alexa, whatever.
Yeah, they all tell you how to spell, right? The other two, Siri and Alexa.
Siri is pretty easy. It's just Siri is actually an acronym. So I don't even know. It's so long. It's like something. I don't know.
I've only owned one Apple thing, like the laptops. I've never owned it unless you count the stock. But laptop and stock,
that's something Apple. We both have it.
There you go.
Yeah.
But actually, you know what? I whatever. But just because we were talking Apple, so I've actually applied for Apple. Probably, I'm not even lying. This ain't even an exaggeration. Probably over 15 times. Never got in once.
Yeah,
I might even be in the 20s. I'm not even lying.
Well, they were joking about how like Apple recruiting is really weird. And it's not you. It's just the way that they pick people.
So it's group shit, man.
It's weird.
I've never had one-on-one interview. That's not true. But I've never had one-on-one interviews.
Well,
it's always
it depends on your experience.
Games. It's always like this shit.
It's harder to get into than Harvard. That's what they were saying.
I'd rather go into Harvard, man.
You'll probably get into Harvard by now, applying the way that how many times you've applied to Apple. But yeah, I was pissed off. The first time I contracted with them for sales, I didn't get hired on either. And I waited a few months, went back to a different department. I went to Apple Care instead, and they hired me. That was after a year. But you really gotta like stand out.
Yeah.
I mean, I busted my ass just doing that. Fun times. Yeah. But anyways.
All right, so how you get into the music game?
It's funny, you did a whole podcast. I guess you didn't actually had a podcast with Charlie. And Charlie?
I had Noah.
You had Noah, but
Yeah.
Charlie, remember you went to you were actually...
the live Twitch stream. Yeah. Noah always calls those things podcasts, but you talking about the one we did at the store, right?
Right.
Yeah. That was a live stream.
So
He loves Noah loves selling everything. Like, yo, that podcast. I'm like, but and then that's the thing. I've been telling a lot of people that like I'm a big believer in like something might mean something, but as time keeps going, things evolve, and I feel like the definition of podcast is changing, whether I want it to or not. But
what's your definition of podcast?
I guess I come from the OGs, right? Like
Just words.
it was just
file.
audio, yeah. Like, and the only reason I started this because I was like, I needed it helped. Like a lot of people, whether they hear there's some people who are like, yo, you do a badass podcast, and they've never heard one, but they watch every Instagram clip. You know what I mean? And so like I mainly started it just for that. Yeah. Unfortunately, people love watching people talk. I don't get it. Like I sometimes do that, but then I also don't. Like if I'm eating food, then sure, but like sometimes I'll just go walk and I don't need to watch them talk,
Maybe it's different for people. Sometimes people, how like some people like to work and then have the TV on? It's very much similar to like us just having music on.
He said he has Netflix on 24 hours a day.
Yeah, so like they're doing their work and then they will look up and glance up at the TV, but they're not actually paying full attention to it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like listening to music. I guess it's like one of the outlets so you don't focus on something for too long. I don't know. That's just my take.
You mentioned music. Do you, because you don't produce, right? It's just DJ land?
I don't. And that's why we mentioned Charlie. Yeah. Charlie is the reason why I started DJing. Yeah. He taught me. We were together for like 6 years. He taught me how to DJ. And kind of just, once he taught me the basics, like, beat matching, blending, and kind of just, like dad's gonna teach their kids how to ride a bike, and then eventually he kind of just like let go
of the training wheels.
Do your thing.
Yeah.
And then that's what I did. So I started DJing. Yeah, because of him. And then met Casey Cut. And started building like network and learn from, because they're OGs. For me, they're like, I'm like, oh my God. I remember my first gig, and they're like, if they're like OG DJs around me, my like hands are always shaking because I'm like,
even now?
This is Nito.
Or just back then?
Down correctly, huh?
Even now or just back then?
Not anymore. Now I still get nervous, like where you get this like, oh, I can't mess up. You trying to show your best, like, but not as bad as before. Like before, when I first started, it was bad. I would literally be shaking. Damn. Like if you look at my hands, they are shaking. Now it's like, hey, what's
Another
up?
one. Yeah.
No, I can't choose and play stupid songs because then it would just, yeah. But yeah, that's how I got into DJing because I wanted to learn, and he was willing to teach me.
Mm.
But yeah, no, I never got into the beat like producing game because I tried. I looked at Ableton and I was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" I'll stick with Serato.
Every one of those programs, and this is for visuals too. Like the first time you open them up, super intimidating.
I know.
I don't care whichever one you pick, like Photoshop, any visual program or any audio thing, because they're just these blank
Even
canvases.
Fruity Loop. They're saying that Fruity Loop is so easy. I open it up. I'm like,
but let me tell you, I'm Fruity Loops dumb, and that's the first one I started on before 2003. I started on, but like I don't start making music till my 20s. So like at that point, I was just a guy who can get things for people. So I would get Fruity Loops for other people.
Right.
But they would use my computer and make it on my computer. So I would get tempted to play it too. But I didn't know anything about music. So it was tough then because I just didn't know anything about music. I think if I had my brain now, back then I would have done good. But now when I just open it up, not wanting to learn it for real, like just wanting to be 1 minute and like, no, I'm like coming from like Ableton and Pro Tools. I'm like, what is this? This makes no sense. It's counter what the other
intuitive
guys do. Yeah, I'm like,
yeah. I think it's more or less like muscle memory for you.
Yeah, I'm just stubborn now because I know one thing. I don't want to learn anything more.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like people are like, "Oh, Tractor's amazing," and I'm like, "No, Serato. I'll use Serato." But you know what? I think the concept, they're all the same.
Yeah. I have a friend who he was on the stream before, but yeah, he's a big Tractor guy. But I think he's super biased to native instruments. I think he likes everything that's native instruments. That might be wit too.
Yeah, so. I don't like dislike or favor anything. I feel like it's just like what you are used to. And if you can use that, if you like using it, then you use it. I don't think there's a need to talk shit about the other one.
Yes, there is.
Because they probably...
That's why they made the internet. That's why they made...
So you're one of those trolls.
Nah. I think I talked my shit on... If we're going to say productive in environments like this or on stream with friends or something. But I don't, I'm not going to post on endless Facebook thread number 85. You know, I can't. It's because, it is stupid like at that point because everybody's just like, I'm right. Who cares, whatever.
I've done that sometimes. I'm guilty. There's just certain things that I think when I think about it, I think it's very black and white. And there's no wiggle room or gray area on certain topics. But that's just me. Yeah. I don't really care though.
Got you.
Like, you can attack me. I'm just going to be like, guy, that's still what I think it is. So, rarely. But it's just like certain issues. I don't want to get into it.
So you said you asked him to teach you? You asked him to teach you the DJing?
Yeah.
So like what made you even want to learn then, I guess?
Okay, so before I was a DJ, I was a bartender. So I would be behind the bar slinging drinks and, there are DJs every night. And the bar that I used to work at, the manager likes to book, like, because he loves house music. I wouldn't use the word like. He loves house music. So he would book all these house DJs. And they're mostly local DJs. Occasionally he'll bring in like Daedalus. Big name like artists. I think our bar was like a South by venue one year. So I actually got to see like good house DJ.
What was the name of it again?
Loft 718.
Okay.
It was a long time ago. It's like bankrupted and
of course
that
always
anymore.
Happens.
Yeah, and so back then when I was behind a bar, I would constantly I would listen, even though I didn't really like house music at the time. I don't hate the genre. I just feel like I wasn't exposed to like good house or just the type of house that I like. it's what he liked, but you know, you can't hate him for that. But anyway, so I would listen and I would hear them blending, or I could hear them mixing, transitioning, or even if like they're using effects, I could catch all that. I didn't know what I was listening to at the time, obviously. I was like, oh, here's some changes. But I was aware of it. And then I think I've talked to Charlie.
Yeah.
Tony is his real name. So, and he's like, so you do have the ears for it. I was like, I guess, I think I can do this. That was kind of me planting a seed in my head, more or less. So I'm like, I could do this. It sounds like he's fucking up. Like, you know, I could hear train wrecks and things like that. So he's like, well, if you want to learn, I can teach you. So that bar on the weekdays is pretty dead.
Yeah.
It's also doubled up as like a karaoke bar. So there are like karaoke rooms. So the DJ booth is always there. There are always 2 turntables and a Pioneer mixer. He's like, yeah, if you want to learn, I can teach you the basics. So he came over one night when I was working at the bar, and he brought his mixer. So I was trained on 57 Serato. Rain 57. Was it 50? Yeah, it was 57. That was the first mixer with like Rain, like Serato box built in, I think. And he just deadass just put all the equipment down on the floor. I was like, okay, what are we gonna? He goes, you want a DJ? Learn to set it up. I was like, well, can you show me first?
Oh man. That reminds me of military, like take apart your gun, put it together.
That actually played a big part of how people looked at me as a DJ later on. Because when you show up at a show or a venue, and the first person you talk to is the stage manager and the sound guy.
Yeah. And
usually the sound guys are not very polite when it comes to a female. Like, not that they're not polite, they just, you can see the judgmental eyes. They're usually like, your boyfriend's a DJ, or like, what's going on? And it's like, no, I'm the DJ. And then I'm grateful that, because my mentors at the time was like DJ Dig, Charlie, Casey also taught me a lot, because of them like telling me like the names of the cables, and I was able to like go up to the sound guy and be like, I need 2 XLRs. If you could do 1/4 inch, I have the input and output for that. I have RCA, whatever's most convenient for you. And usually their reaction is like, you actually know what you're talking about. Okay. So that's important. And I'm thankful that Charlie did that. So, and to me at the time, you just play Nintendo when you're growing up. It's, the red goes into the red, the yellow.
I didn't want to stop. I'm still about it.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not that hard once you learn it, because it's like the white one goes into the white and the red goes into the red and stuff like that. So once I got that down, he taught me like beat matching basics. Took me a while, but he said I picked it up really fast. I don't know if he's just like being nice, or if I did, but so I got that down, and then next is just me learning like what melody would go well with what. And then I like mixing a lot. I'm not a turntablist, as in I can't like scratch.
Yeah.
Can't do shit like Hubert, right? Baby scratches here and there, but yeah. That's how I dwell mostly on blending and mixing and how smooth I transition songs. Yeah. Rather than how to do tricks, or I could do like basic chopping, little baby scratches.
Trying to provide the endless mix.
Yeah.
Yeah, the smooth ride.
Yeah, more or less. So when you listen to me mix, it's very different from a turntablist, where they shuffle songs and they don't really transition. It's like 16 bar in out. But yeah, I am not good with that. I shuffle fast, but I don't like the whole a sudden halt to something. And mean, if you do it skillfully, obviously it sounds good. But like
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
do it, it's like, the fuck happened?
Or you just haven't done it enough. Just gotta do it more times. That's it.
There have been several times I could pull it off if I like time it right in my head, and I'm
Yeah.
like, and I have to go through it in my head. I'm like, okay, yeah, like let's practice in my head, and then it'll go through. But not often. So
But when you, because from the little bit I've seen, you know, like, so yeah, like you're DJing, like you're playing like parties and stuff. So are you like reading the room, or
oh, that's a must.
do you? So you're all right. Those are like, I in some ways I got mentored by some old DJs, but I never actually. I was always about making music, so I never learned how to DJ, and because I never needed to for what I was doing. But I would hear all the DJ rules, like the you know, obviously the reading the room, reacting to the crowd, trying to shift them to what you need them to shift at certain times, you know, if you need them to dance, if you need them to clear out, or warm up DJs and stuff like that, and their roles and what they play.
There's certain etiquettes to it. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't mind that too much if your intention is just to create music and you don't have much intention of like actually playing out. Like, you've heard of Selection, right?
Yeah, I've heard the name.
Carmack was horrible when he's started like playing out because he could, you know, like he's a great producer, but like none of the Selection artists were actually trained on being a DJ or
we
mixing.
Do what we want, man.
You guys are great at making music, but that doesn't mean like you can put a set together like how DJs do it. We don't.
Yeah.
We don't worry about producing, obviously, but we worry about how to blend them and kind of weave a story out of all the songs that you have in your crate. Versus like you guys are like, I made this beat. This is dope. People must hear about it. And then like, you know, somewhere down the line, you're feeling your shit, and then you're like, there's an other track that I made, and it was great, so people must hear about it. So you kind of just like that's the DJ mentality. Yeah,
so
it's. I've had Anna Love. I don't know if you know Anna Love.
Oh yeah, she won the RBMA.
Yeah, she went to Rebel Music Academy. Yeah. She came up to me.
I don't know if you know that. Yeah, I'm like the ex for San Antonio.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so she after she wins, she becomes the ex for where she moved. I think like Denver.
To Denver. Yeah. So she's told me because she showed up at my gig one time and she's like, I need to learn how to do this, and I was like, what do you mean? You like went to Red Bull Music Academy? Like,
yeah.
I'm not like at your level. What are you talking about? And then she's like, no, like I know how to play my own music, but I don't know how to play other people's music. I don't know how to put songs together in a crate and then do a whole night set like you do. And I was like, that's understandable. I can't write music, so there's that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I mean, when Feedback Alliance and Dusty Groove Radio got together and booked Selection for the very first time, that I forgot what year it was, but it was South by, and most of the rosters showed up. And it's funny because Lakim, do you know Lakim on Selection? He's one of the producers, and he told me, he's like, this is the first time I've seen everybody together because you know, you guys like communicate and collab, but you don't necessarily know what they look like in person.
Yeah, man, internet's great.
Yeah, and I mean, they know, like they've seen pictures of each other, but never actually like talked to each other in person. So like they were like, oh, this is great. But yeah, so besides the ones that are already DJs on the rosters, a lot of them are just producers, and I see them just kind of struggling to put a set together. Not struggling, but like they don't have the concept of same BPM, blending, fade out, or how they transition. That's.
I think a lot of us are weird too in that since we're doing our stuff, we're normally using weird things more often than not Ableton. Like we're not even trying to DJ, you know, like to use the gear. Serato, Tractor, or whatever. We're just on it. Like me, like I ended up using the push. Like in my final form, I think I ended up using the push. And then I split it up into like 8 tracks, and like the 4s would double. This would be like my deck A and deck B. So for anything that was mine, I would stem it out like bass drum melody 1 and 2, bass drum melody 1 and 2. So it would allow me to provide more like even crazier mixing, because I have the song stemmed out versus just, you know, EQing bass, mid, and high, you know. But somewhere along that line is when I started doing that. I can't read room adapt because I'm using Ableton, and that shit is not made for on the fly. There's little tricks, but no, I don't want to do that.
I think it depends on how you assign your tool, like your drum machine or whatever. I've seen people.
It's not as convenient as any of the DJ tools. It's not as convenient as a CDJ Tractor or a Serato. If I wanna, last minute, let me just add a track I've never even heard before. Versus to do that in Ableton, it would just be very annoying. Because normally things got to be like warped and pre-warped and all this shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, Ableton compared to like what Serato DJ Scratch Live or Serato DJ, it's a lot more sophisticated than like a
lot of us are
basic
just showing up
of,
with that. So like we're not even like necessarily even like trying to do that, because a lot of us have that preconceived notion of what we trying to do. So I feel like I did get pretty good at making sets, and I couldn't do maybe all the transitions you guys could do, but I came up with some good ones.
You don't have to. All you really need to do is make it sound good. Like if you're transitioning by ways of, you know, turning down all the bass and just play like snares to go into another song. If it sounds good, it sounds good. Like who fucking cares? DJing is just another. You guys have your form of art, and DJing is another. And if you can utilize both, that's great. But like, you do what sounds best for you. I don't think there's. Everything is so mixed nowadays, music wise. I don't think there's
the singularity, man.
Yeah,
we all get in there.
But like, I get it if you're talking to OG about like the old days where like, turntables. It's like, well, then I can't do that shit, but you guys can. So go DMC that out or something.
What do you think you are currently? Would you are you? How much longer do you have to do this before you consider yourself an OG?
I don't think I'm ever going to be one.
Why?
I don't know. I don't like to think about things like that.
Why?
Because I don't know everything. You always have someone is always going to be better than you. You're always learning from someone else. I don't think anybody's actually an OG. It's just like whoever I look up to, I call them an OG. If they've been they've been in the game longer, then they are OG, just by seniority, right? I don't know. I'll be an OG when someone calls me one.
I guess I only ask because, like, I feel like what you've told me and how you learn, I feel like you were taught like by people who come from, who, you know,
They're
what I would
more
even
old
say
school.
OG. Because like music was probably always there in my life, but like I said, I don't start doing anything till my 20s, man. But I remember I always wanted to be a DJ growing up. That didn't happen. But I did get a mixer, Newmark mixer, like maybe Newmark 2000, some shit. It was a blue thing. I sold it to some dude in Florida on eBay. But we couldn't afford the decks, so I never ever got to DJ.
It was expensive.
But yeah, so I ended up just plugging in like random CD players, and I would just crossfade, and the whole block was like, what is this? Like the songs work, and I didn't even know what a beat matching or BPM or anything was, because I'm using like CD players and shit. But man, I remember I went to my homie's house, and funny enough, his name's DJ Show now. Albany. He works a radio station. He does real good. He's a real thing. He's the real thing now. It's for Albany, so he's not like big or famous outside of Albany, but he's
locally.
He do the big ass hip hop shows for Albany, you know.
Right.
But
local celebrity.
I remember being at that dude's house, man, and like spinning vinyl around the Juvenile Ha days, dude. Had like that shit. I don't know if you know Juvenile Ha. Yeah. I just ripped that the other day from my CD to my, so like, I have that fresh, and the Ha remixes and stuff with Jay-Z and with the Hot Boys and stuff.
Sampling.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But I don't even remember why I started telling the story. But
You went into his house and then everything looks crazy.
No, well, no, I was just seeing that on vinyl and stuff. It was okay, yeah.
Oh, for
That's
the
it.
first time.
So like, yeah, even though I never did it, like I still had like growing up in that like hip hop world, like at that time the DJs were still looked upon as something that matters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I said all this shit to ask a simple ass question of like, I guess when people learn right now, what do you think? Do you have that OG like, man, you guys don't even know jack shit feeling, or it's just whatever? Because I feel like you got taught by people who come from that too.
I mean, if you talk about hip hop nowadays,
No, just beyond all of it. So not just hip hop, like because
well,
now
DJ
everything's
is
automated.
part of hip hop.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
not
thing.
just. That's why I said we don't have to. You don't have to limit it to hip hop. It can be
Right.
all of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm a hip hop DJ, so
That's what you spend currently right now.
yeah, I've always been that because I like the hip hop sound. I like how lyrical. I like something to have meaning to it.
So do you like hip hop right now? Where it's at currently?
It's gotten to the point where like I would fixate on what I like.
What do you
Parts
like?
of it as like
What
as
do you
in
like?
like if I don't like the lyrics, I'll learn to like the beat. Vice versa, because if you are so picky about hanging on to the old school like sound, you're never gonna improve. There's,
Damn,
I mean,
power of the positive mind.
it's there's I've convinced I went through the stage of like, oh, you use a plastic controller, you think you're a DJ because you know like my mentors are hardcore about you using fucking vinyl and turntables,
Yeah.
and then I'm just like, you know, I'm a fucking stick. Like it's fucking hard as shit to bring 2 turntables and a mixer into a bar, and then doing South by is brutal.
Yeah.
Okay, you're logging all these shit up and down 6th Street. It's not fun, but
I carried like so much gear one year when I had a South by gig, like probably 45 minutes of walking, and I was just.
Dude, the pedicab people, they're fucking troopers because they help. They're like, they saw me and they're like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm almost having a nervous breakdown in the middle of 6th Street because you know it was so packed and people were touching you, and then I'm trying to get into a rhythm where the craze would sway with like my walking direction, and then people will come and hit me and it will fuck it up, and I'm like going sideways. I'm like, ah!
Yeah.
What the fuck? And they helped. They're like, "Do you need me to? Where are you going?" And then they pedicab 2 heavy ass turntables and a mixer to the venue. I don't even remember what it was, but yeah, it's. I don't know.
So what's your current setup now? Then is it still
it's
that?
still the same thing. I think it doesn't matter what direction you're taking nowadays in music. You can use like drum machines, mixer, controllers, whatever's easier for you. Because when it comes down to it, not everybody can afford turntables and mixer. It was really hard. Without Charlie's help, I wouldn't have gotten my own decks or mixer that as fast as I had. Obviously, he helped in, you know, hunting down like cheaper turntables, and he also learned how to like internally ground them, fix them, and things like that. So without my friend's help, I wouldn't be where I am. But honestly, like after seeing all that, it's like, you know, whatever is good for you, as long as you don't forget your root. For me, it's like if you want to use controllers, that's fine. But if I were to put you on turntables in a mixer, you better be able to use it. You know, because
I got to play with it once at a party, and like I wasn't booked, or this is just a house party, and my friend's probably one of the best DJs I've ever met, and he actually had his time in New York too, but we didn't know each other then. We only meet here, and he's probably one of the best DJs I ever met. Who, I guess, maybe I just meet him at the wrong time because it seemed like he was very about it in New York, and here. The passion's always there, but life calls. Get a wife, or you just join Team Real Life, But yeah, man, I got to play with one of his friends' decks at one time and just spin like vinyl records, man. I'm trying to beat match for the first time. I'm doing everything on my own, and I'm like, yo, this shit's fucking hard. I was like,
It is.
like,
Even Serato kind of dumbed it down for you because visually you can see the lines and lining up, like the drums and the waveforms.
Yeah.
That were going up and down. You can see, you can match it with your eyes. You're not even really listening. Like I'm never gonna call myself OG. Funny that you mentioned it is because I can never play actual vinyls, crates of vinyls, and match them. That's never. I probably could if I try really hard. Since
that is good. So I can ask it later.
Since I get the concept of it, but I'm never gonna be OG. OG is people like Casey, like Table Manners crew, like Knick-Knack that went through the whole. I'm gonna bring 3 crates full of records and then putting them on turntables and beat match with their ears. That's OG.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna be OG because I never went through the whole. Let's go to a record store and dig, and map out your set in a crate and bring your crate to the show.
I only say it because I just feel like you'd carry on some of the traditions.
I believe you should believe in certain value to kind of thrive on. You have to have a home base. Kind of like, in school when you go to college, it's like you have to learn like basic math before you jump to algebra. Otherwise, you're gonna be like, what the fuck is this? What's X? You
mentioned the hip hop, so I gotta ask, and I know you did a very positive spin, but yes, what are your current thoughts of hip hop today?
So what is hip hop in your mind?
Oh, what's hip hop in your mind?
I was taught.
Yeah.
Hip hop, there are 5 elements.
Oh shit.
Word that
and you gonna tell me you not OG? I mean, look what you bringing up right now.
No, but I'm saying like, okay, I like graffiti, breakdancing, MC.
Those are all forbidden arts. This answer is all like this. Is what I'm saying. These are all. That's what I was saying.
Was it 4 or 5 though?
Dude. I only feel like I always remember 4. I always forget what 5 is, but I believe there was 5. I swear there was 5. And
apparently there are more. There
are more than 5, but 5 is just a better one. See, knowledge. That when you start bringing knowledge, that's when you start going into KRS-One territory and you start speaking all poetic.
That's more Zulu shit. Yeah. See, Zulu. If I talk to other people, they're like, "What?"
I had no choice. Like, I'm not in depth detail about all that stuff, but like, you grew up in the Bronx. I had no choice. You know what I mean?
You are. Bronx is where it's at. Okay,
yeah,
you know what? Now I gotta Google. What the fuck? How many elements are there? I think it's 4. Or why did I say like 5?
4 and 5 tends to be the thing.
Yeah. Okay. Graffiti, MC, breakdancer, and DJ. God damn it.
But I swear there's a 5th one.
We'll find out. Part of internet. It is from the Bronx. Okay, DJ.
Man, I saw a Quincy Jones documentary on Netflix, and he took it away. He was like, hip hop ain't from the Bronx. It's a bunch of people in Africa who were like
oh, you talking about soul singing?
Yeah.
That's
he
something
was,
else. I don't know.
And I was like, man, dude. Why, Quincy? Why are you trying to take it away? Why are you trying to...
Oh, I still haven't seen the documentary. It's queued up, but I haven't...
It's not... Oh, you know what? I saw it over the course of like 5 days, so I guess it grew up on me.
Was it really that long? Or
it's like 2 hours plus. It's a real one. Overall, it's good, but I think I do a lot of video stuff now. Obviously, this thing here, but I do a little bit more than that, and so now, and I have my ideas of what I want to do. So like, I think now it gets harder for me to like stuff because the creative in me is always like, well, I would have done this, So I was thinking at 2 hours, I was watching that like, oh, this is one of those docs. Like with documentaries, I hate artsy shit sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, yo, I'm just trying to learn, buddy. And they're doing I don't know how much I should get into. They're like, okay, here's the story of Quincy Jones, right? We're going to tell it, but we're going to tie it with a line, right? So the middle story is, here's Quincy Jones now, old man, and we're building up to this Smithsonian African American Museum, right? To plan, right? So that's going to be today's story, right? But in between today's story, we're going to interweave it, right? With here's Quincy in 1930, 1940, 1950, while you get intermingled segments. And I'm like,
It's everywhere.
It's not as everywhere, but I was like, man, it's some artsy bullshit. I don't know. Like now, like I've started like learning these things that like most of the world won't see, and most of it's just in my head. But it's like these are writing concepts. These are the ideas of like, this is, like it's the storyboard of the doc. This is how we're gonna pitch it and plan it. And I have my ideas for mine too, but mine are like I come from this DIY land, so I'm just like, all we need is A and B, and we're just doing it. Like, so I don't know. I just see that, and I'm like, oh man. And one of his, she worked on the doc. One of his daughters is Rashida Jones. You know her? Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's pretty awesome. I believe, I don't know if it's still gonna happen. She was supposed to be writing like Toy Story 4 if they ever do it, but that got announced years ago. So sometimes in Hollywood things get announced that don't ever happen. So I don't know if that's ever gonna happen, but maybe it will. But anyway, I could see that because she's like a real person doing real things in Hollywood, so I could see that. But overall, those are things that don't matter. That was just some shit that was spinning in my head. But overall it's still good. I got to learn some stuff about it. He definitely has his OG-isms too that you can tell.
I mean, if you think about it, they're almost like a religion of its own. It's just something like a base belief, and then it kind of branches out from there. And it's 4 elements, by the way. I was like, I cannot fucking sleep.
See, because I feel like the internet always says it's 4, but I don't know, man. I feel like there was a 5th, but maybe I'm just a lunatic.
The OG, I guess the original was 4. And then it kind of just, it started adding more and more. So yeah, if you ask me, like, hip hop, I mean, none of the hip hop songs nowadays contains this, like, these 4 culture, really.
Is that good thing, bad thing? Do you not like that, or?
I'm neutral. Remember what I said? I was like, if I don't like the lyrics,
I'm just trying to pick.
You know what? I will tell you this though: the lyrical game is definitely not as good as like before. Because hip hop used to be about telling stories.
Yeah.
Now it's like I'm like, money, cars, and hoes. Like,
a lot of my old heads, me and my friends, when we talk about hip hop, we tend to get on it because of that. What you just said, like the bars is gone right now,
Mm-hmm. And that's why, people like Kendrick stands out. Or
I know.
J. Cole stands out.
But I don't like J. Cole, but I respect him a lot. He just doesn't do it for me.
Like, you're talking about lyrically, or? I'm
talking about everything. He just, like, I respect the game enough and that I know he's good. You know what I mean? But he ain't for me.
I didn't read.
Oh, shit. You're here too, dog?
I'm everywhere.
Yeah, man. This is the homie Ian.
Hi.
Hey, what's up? How are you?
Yeah.
I feel like I know him.
Say hi.
Hi.
To Podcast Landia. You coming on here too, man. You gonna get casting couch too, man.
All right. Put my nice underwear on.
That's what's up.
I didn't really learn to like J. Cole till recent years because of my friend who's like, he actively just like, J. Cole is dope, J. Cole is dope. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up, I'll listen to him, okay? Because J. Cole and Kendrick kind of came out around the same time.
And there's a big difference between them, and like I quickly won on Team Kendrick.
Yeah, because Kendrick is a lot more
He's
conscious.
a demon. He's a beast.
Yeah, and so I spend most of my energy researching Kendrick, and then J. Cole kind of just faded away. I mean, he was on my radar, but it never like grabbed my attention as hard as like Kendrick did. And now recently, I went to Jambalaya. This past when was Jambalaya? Whatever, Jambalaya. And then J. Cole's headlining. And he's actually pretty he's like people are gonna like stone me to death if they're J. Cole fans, but like he's like a softer version of Kendrick. Like if Kendrick, he's more like, he could be really political and he's like in your face about it. But J. Cole is more like Confucius or something. He just sips his tea. He sits on his couch and he talks about it, but he's not like, I'm in your face talking about it. Does that make sense?
I know what you mean, but at the same time, like and it's very unfair for me to say this, but everything that's presented to me this is how it comes across. he doesn't maybe go as hard on what you can do with the lyrical textures that like Kendrick does, you know. And this is why I never thought he sucked. I will totally say he sucks,
They
but he
have the
doesn't
right
suck.
mind, is
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you're trying to say.
He's
yeah.
good, so I respect him. He makes
He's
his own
intelligent.
beats.
Yeah.
As someone who makes stuff, I'm like, man, that's cool. He does all of it, you know, like. But yeah, he just don't connect with me. And then I'm at a point too where I'm into so many things that like I can't. If you ain't, in my opinion, for what I think is, because art is subjective. But if you ain't like best of the best, it's like I ain't got time for everything, dude. I gotta take best of the best here, best of the best there, you know. And to me, like Kendrick's like a top dog. Well, he is a top dog, right? Record label, but I mean Kendrick is a top dog. And I just don't think he's there. But some people do, and some people actually like him. But I think one of the best things you can do in a funny comparison, if you hear that song Friday, right? It's Good Friday actually.
Good Friday.
They both released 2 songs called Good Friday on around the time maybe of Black Friday. Oh, Black Friday actually. I think it was Black Friday. Sorry. And all they did was flip each other's beats from around their album time. So it was like track 6 on that famous Cole
I think I
album.
mildly remember that.
You probably heard it. It was a thing.
Yeah.
And then it was the song where Pharrell does the chorus on the jazz album that Kendrick has.
To Pimp a
We Gonna Be
Butterfly?
Alright. Yeah, We Gonna Be Alright. So J. Cole gets on that beat, I think. And then Kendrick gets on this really hard beat on J. Cole's album. But
Gonna Be
yo,
Alright.
Kendrick.
So To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah.
That's the album, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and the 14 whatever, the address one for J. Cole, that's where they did the beat flips. But yo, so I'm showing my friend who's like a hip hop like OG head, right? But I'm like, you know, showing him these new cats, and I'm like, yo, you understand? Kendrick's like for real. And he's like, dude, all I hear you do is bash J. Cole. Like, let me hear one thing of both. And I'm like, this is perfect because they're both doing the same thing. And he hears he may hear his J. Cole, and he hears Kendrick first. But when we sit through the whole thing, because he goes hard. It's kind of, he just bars it up. He doesn't. There's no song. There's no like choruses or nothing. He just bars it up. He just murders that shit. And then J. Cole, he makes me stop it at the second verse. He's like, I see what's happening here. You can stop it. And he's like, he's alright, dude. But like, he's just doing like, you know, normal stuff. Like if it was the old days, I'm not saying he wouldn't make it, but you know, he'd just be like another good dude. But because we're in like the times of where there's only 5 lyrical people, you know, like he's amazing.
I mean, Kendrick is definitely more flamboyant with his.
He's doing a
lyrical
lot of
skill.
shit.
But the reason why, but that's the thing, Kendrick grabs your attention, whereas lyrically they're very similar minded, to be honest.
Well, I'm not talking about what they're talking about. I mean, I'm literally talking about like how intricate they're gonna get.
Yeah,
and, like,
but
bending
that's
the
what I'm
wordplay
saying.
and
Like
shit.
Kendrick's style is more flamboyant, where it kind of grabs you and grabs your attention. Where J. Cole is more laid back, and I've grown to this stage, like you were saying, positive thinking. There's a time and place for anything.
I do that with my life. I haven't done it with music yet, though.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you're a producer, so you have a mind of your own when it comes to what music should be like.
Yeah.
But for a DJ is different. I don't think what I should make. I think what will go well together. What will. And then I'm constantly being bombarded by new music because my homework is to listen to new music. And then when I play out, I have to play. Yeah. Now, as much as at first I really, because I'm an old school like 90s hip hop like fan, and I can't stand it. Like when I first just really listened to like new age hip hop, I'm like, I can't stand this shit. I can't stand this trap shit. Like Lil Pump, fuck Lil Pump, like whatever. 6ix9ine.
Oh yeah, you weren't feeling the 6ix9ine era.
No.
The few months that
I
we
like
had.
XXX Temptation more than I love. More than I wouldn't use the more than I like.
Temptation. That's not Triple X.
Temptation?
Yeah, okay. Is that the guy who died?
Yeah.
It's not Extension, like Triple Extension or something, or no?
I don't know.
I feel like Lil Wayne said that on his new album. Like he calls them like triple extension or something.
I don't even see the fucking kids nowadays. They just like make up some names and you don't even know how to pronounce it, and they like come around and correct you. You're like, I'm sorry if you want to spell it all fucking weird, okay?
To be fair, I've never heard any of his music. That Lil Wayne chorus he does is probably the only time I've heard him, and I like him on there. He sounds good.
See, the thing is, here's a reason why I don't like show favoritism toward any rappers nowadays, because I feel like music is music and they're good for.
You're not wrong.
There's a time and place for it, like I said earlier, because it's like, you know, on a rainy day I want to listen to J. Cole and I don't want to go too hard. You know, on certain days I'm like, I gotta listen to Kendrick and get inspired, or like in XXX. God damn it, his name is so long. Temptation. I didn't even like him at first because what I heard was the whole domestic violence assault that he had, and then in my head, you know, I'm a girl, obviously, automatically, I'm like, oh fuck this dude, you know, like whatever. I'm not even gonna pay attention to his music until I was on Instagram one night and I was just scrolling through stuff, and I love Erykah Badu, and Erykah Badu posted a video of X's song, and then the caption was, "Don't judge me because of how I sin." And in my head it kind of clicked, and I was like, okay, so yo, you got this like OG, like she's the queen, Erykah. And then if she's that open-minded and accepting of music, so she's talking about music, she's not talking about the dude anymore. It's his talent. So, and we all sin differently.
So you're saying, can we separate all art from their person?
That's a struggle sometimes I ask myself. I was like, so
okay.
Do I still support this person if he's a jackass but makes really good music? I think.
What about like Bill Cosby? That's it, you know.
Well, I'm foreign. I came over here to the States when I was 12. So
less about you and more like, I'm sure like the comedians, you know, like.
Yeah, but I didn't grow up on Bill Cosby is what I'm saying. So like, I can't give you any input on that because I didn't grow up watching his show, and I know he's well-beloved.
Well, I meant less on him and just more, I guess, you know, I guess if you can do one, you can do the other, right? I don't know.
So right now, my mental state is if I'm a DJ and all I care about is music, then on XXXTentacion, I would say he is a very talented dude. If you actually listen to his new album, he's very versatile. He could do rock. He can sing like a rock singer. He can rap. He's got bars. He's actually pretty good. I wouldn't say his lyrical skill is like Kendrick's, but he's pretty good. But his songs are always so short, which makes me feel like
that's a today thing, yeah.
Yeah, and no, we're talking like less than 2 minutes.
That's what I mean. That's a today thing. That comes from like that whole SoundCloud style of stuff.
Yeah, and I think for him, he's just flexing. Like I could do anything, but so I guess everybody has their certain threshold, like how much you can tolerate, like how bad the person is, and versus musical talent. I don't know, but I kind of look past the whole domestic violence. I don't condone it. I'm gonna say that right now. I don't condone it. Okay, don't throw stones at me. But we all did some fucked up shit. Okay, and when he put out the album, that was like when he was 18. That was when he was way younger. So
maybe one day I'll hear him, but I don't know.
You know, it's not for everybody. I just kind of learned to be open. I used to be really stubborn. Like I went through a stage where I feel like only I know what's good music, and if you don't listen to the same,
we all do that when we're younger, though.
Yeah, if you don't listen to the same type of music I listen to, you're a shitty person. Like now, it's like
I think where I am right now, though, it's less that and more like number one thing, creation versus consumption. So as a creator, I'm like, well, either I create or I consume, and it's like, so I kind of live. I don't get to I don't get to watch a lot of TV. I've watched less TV now than I've ever watched in my life. Less movies, less anything. Because it's like, yo, man, I'm always talking all this bullshit. Like, I want to, make it in whatever way, right? So it's like, well, why aren't you fucking making it? So now I'm like, either create or consume because I have time, and what am I going to use it at, So that's one of my number one things. But then two, like, I guess with music, and as my primary art, like music probably hasn't been, I don't know if it ever will again be my primary art. I'll always probably mess with it, but I don't know if it'll ever be my primary art. But I think either like one, like maybe I just don't like the direction that everything went into. And then also like maybe just because I create, like I maybe just don't care as much,
Well, that also goes back to, remember we were talking about reading the crowd earlier?
Yeah.
When you're a DJ, you're forced to do so because, I mean, if I go to a bar, I get a gig and go to a bar that I'm supposed to perform at, and if I build a set around what I like musically, nobody will be fucking dancing. Like nobody would be there. Yeah. And maybe you get a few people that actually like the same music as you, but it's not gonna be a clubby like dance night.
I wish there was a haven where like we could play wherever we want. I feel like those are always rough. Those are usually house parties or weird things like that.
Those are rare.
Yeah.
I did like a gig about 2 Sundays ago. It was at the Circuit of the Americas.
Wow.
And it was the Mercedes Lounge. They launched their new cars. It was a press conference, more or less, but, I wasn't allowed to take any photos. I had to sign waivers and whatnot. But that was a gig that was a rare, like, luxury for me because I get to play, like, selection, like, housey vibe or, like, down-tempo, like, future beats kind of music from, like, it was, like, a 6-hour, right? Wait, what was it? It was from like 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. But I didn't feel tired at all. Well, my feet kind of hurt after a while. But that was like one of those gigs where I'm like, it's very therapeutic because I get to play what I want to play and nobody is telling me.
You did 6 hours?
Was it 11 to 4? Is that? I'm not.
11 to 4 is 5 hours.
5? I think it was 10. Okay, it was 6 hours, so it should be 10 to 4.
Okay.
I just don't remember the logistics.
You're getting close to Carl Cox, man. You're getting close to a 10-hour gig.
Oh, no, they gave me an hour lunch break.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like
Carl
a
Cox
true,
at all.
it's not a true, like...
You're still soft.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just playing.
I'm not on that level, but point is, I didn't have to worry about reading a crowd.
Yeah.
I got to play whatever the fuck I wanted.
And it was a real gig. I was just saying, like, I just think it'd be cool for us to have, like, whatever spot, just so, like, we could. And in some ways, I've done that here and there. I stopped doing it. I was doing, like, weekly Twitch streams, actually, with this camera and the 85 wires I said it would take. But we used to, this was just this year, too. We have a house. We still have this house, and we can still do it whenever we want. Like, who would you know like that? Like, I don't know if you know Brainwave, right? Yeah, so he came to the house, and I don't know if you know Bragg
Most of the Feedback
Lights.
Alliance guys I know.
So,
or
those are the only feedback that have come. Chris Big Money was supposed to come, but then he got seriously sick.
Oh no.
So yeah. So he's still kind of, he's in like, I feel like for the last year he's been in like kind of like a fixed model. He was gonna do both. He was gonna do that house and then he was gonna do this. But yeah, in that house, like we would just do live streams and the multi-camera setup, and just everybody does whatever they want. I just was, sometimes I'd be a bit too ambitious, and I think doing it weekly was killing me. So I just had to chill out.
A word of advice,
yeah.
And just because I've seen people come and go and do streaming, podcasts, and all that stuff, don't do it because you think you're gonna make it big. Do it for your liking.
Oh yeah.
A lot of it, it's even like, so Joe Selections, record label owner, he told me he didn't do it with the intention. At first, he didn't do it with the intention of like people like being the hottest fucking future beats record label. He just kept doing it because he likes the music. And then one day he turned around. He's like, I just turn around and then I see all these followers and the people were like giving me props and like, they love the music. I was like, feels good, doesn't it?
These things I do, like I notice. So like I go hard on all those things, right? Because I like them. And then I look at what I'm doing, and I know, like, if I wanted to make it big, I'm like, well, I would be doing other things. I'd be making trap beats. I wouldn't be doing these podcasts can be long. Right? I'm not saying this one is, but like I've done like Brainwave. Actually, him and his wife came on. We did 3.5 hours.
It's funny. Brainwave works at Apple too. No, he doesn't work at Apple. One of my good friends / coworker is like his best friend. So when you posted Brainwaves, but I tagged my friend Ben. I was like, "That's your best friend."
Nice.
Yeah, and
that was a ridiculous one because we started that one at 1 a.m. and and that was another one where I was tired. I didn't fall asleep, but I was like, I just said yes because they don't live here, and I was like, well, we got to do it when we can do it, you know. And this is when we can do it. I bet. I ate a pizza on there.
Seeing a pattern here.
Yeah.
Just go into the podcast like hella tired.
Because I'm tired right now. I'm not in line, but I'm not fine. Because it's like, look, I don't live in your city. Mm-hmm. And like, when do I get to see you again? This might be it, you know? Like, I don't know. So like, and even this was like scheduled, right? We like supposed to be like 4 hours ago. Like, so that's why I'm like, right now I'm in a period in my life that like, I don't know how long this period's gonna last, but it's like I can just say yes to everything right now, like because I do have the flexibility in my schedule, and one day, you know, I'll probably get serious about making bigger amounts of money, and I won't have that time to do this, you know. So it's like if I'm tired, like so be it. But I get to spend a few hours with you. I get to spend a few hours with that dude, even if I'm sleeping while he talks. You know? A few hours with that dude whenever I do it. Like that dude, I never see that dude, you know, like, but I get to see him now. It's like, why not? And I get to have like real conversations and shit. So like, but this is long form content. The world don't want long form content. The world wants short form. So like with this stuff,
why do you think they're cliff notes?
but this is what I'm saying. Like I do this stuff because I like it. Like this isn't me like even trying to make it. Because if I was trying to make it, I'd be like, yo, let's talk on my phone for a minute. Good job. You can go home now, you know, because then I would have short. But I tell you what, I say this. Like I was talking to my friend, talking to a lot of people about it with Twitch. Like I notice I don't go hard on Twitch. Like I had it on, but like it was my friend. He's watching me, but I don't go as hard on that I do this. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure like I probably don't like that as much. I think I just do it because that one really does have a possibility of making money because I see it all the time. And so that's why I'm like, I do it, but I notice like I don't do it the way I do these. Like I've gone hard on this shit. I've gone hard on music at times in my life when it was my main thing. And I've gone hard on the concert recordings too. So I mean like I've done like over 118 of those. I've done of just this series, I've done 71, or if you count all the podcasts, well, 72, and you're 3 now. But if you count all the podcasts I've done, then I'm easily in the hundreds because I've done other ones. I was a big Street Fighter person. I've done a Street Fighter one back in the day.
Nice.
That was an important part of my life. Still is, will always be.
That's the thing. I never was ambitious about, because like every time I see someone's, you're really either really gung-ho about what you want, like it consumes their life, they manifest that to where they are now. Like, let's be cliche, Beyonce. Her whole life was just performing. She was tossed into performing art school. She performed.
Did she want to do it?
Yeah,
because I almost feel like she had similar like to Michael Jackson, and I feel like she had
the
like
Jackson
a family.
vibe. That's that. But Beyonce loved to perform.
Okay.
Like she loves performing, and that that consumed her life. She wanted it, like you really want it, and she's doing it her whole life, and she's where she is.
When
now.
I see those people, I'm like, I've liked stuff, but man, I've never liked something that much because I never dived that hard.
You're gonna be like determined, like they are. Or, you know, the other type was just like Joe K. He's just doing it. He's puts his head down. He's like, I love this shit. I'm just going to do it. I don't really care about pay or what? Pay or getting famous. And he, you know, one day he turned around. He's like, holy shit, I have a lot of followers. So it's very two extreme spectrum. Rarely do I see, and I'm not discouraging people, but rarely do I see like I'm trying to balance life and kids and family and work, and then I'm trying to do the side shit. Yes, I've seen it happen like successfully, but it's one in a million.
Yeah,
So,
like I don't think I'm
I just, like I said, just do something you like.
Yeah.
If it's therapeutic for you, just do it.
I don't know if any of this is therapeutic, but I know I really like it.
Yeah.
So I do it. But yeah.
And that's it. I've gone on other podcasts where people interview me and then they're like, do you see yourself and what do you see yourself in 10 years with DJ?
Oh, where do you wait till you get to these life questions.
And I was like, I don't want to be Paris Hilton or Skrillex or Steve Aoki. I don't want to be at that level because from what I was a full-time DJ for just a little bit, and I didn't like it because it was about whose asses you kiss. You need to know the right people, and a lot of politics were involved, which took away my love for spinning records and what I like.
That only happened to me with music. Yeah, like the other two have not been corrupted by that, but like music, because you start doing it for fun, and then in the middle when you're trying to make it, that shit started, and then it turned it into like, I don't like this no more.
Exactly. And then, and there's certain aspect of the business that I still don't like, but I learned to, because then you kind of switch mentality to where it is a job. People are paying you for your service. So like when they say play back that ass up, you play back that ass up, and however much you don't like it. I like that song. I'm not saying,
I
but
like that song too. And sometimes I'm like, man, am I just like a big hypocrite when I hate on today music?
It's like, because at some point you get numb and you're like, am I just like a jukebox now? So then I had to step away, and now like Apple consumes most of my time, but I like where I am with DJing right now because I would get like random gigs. And then I'll go do them. And then I'll be like, I like this. I remember why I like this. And when I can read the crowd and move the crowd. It needs
to be for you, man.
Yeah, that's great. But I don't, when it's a job, it ceases to be something you do recreationally and something you just like to do. And I didn't like that feeling. Kind of like sucked the love and energy out of it. And I'm like, man, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, that's why, like, with this, like, I just kind of keep doing what I want because that way I enjoy it. And I'm in the middle of, like, I can't really do it here because I'm here. I mean, this is not my temple, Mm-hmm. But I'm kind of, like, a routine in my life, too. Like, so that I can daily attack everything that I'm into. Mm-hmm. From either these things or the music thing and like doing yoga and like all these elements of life that I'm trying to hit on a daily basis. Because I'm like, if I do them every day, like at this point, I'm just concerned with getting better. Like I don't even care because I feel like at some point, like I'm just gonna be so good that like something will click. I don't even think some of the stuff I do like may necessarily ever make it as much as I don't even care. Mm-hmm. All this stuff is just training because I'm like, this skill set that I'm developing, this is going to be my real job. Whether not saying this podcast will be, but this whole skill set, whether it's video editing, color correction, color grading, even talking, because I've done enough of this and a lot of other stuff, like the capturing of footage. Like I've been called, before I even did a podcast, I was called a guerrilla journalist in San Antonio, so I'm like, all right. Hey, I need to look at this shit. Maybe that might be something for me, Journalists these days are all kinds of shit now, So I'm
That's dope.
All right, so, but I'm confident all this stuff is just skill sets that is going to help me for wherever I end up,
Well, definitely.
So, and I like this too because, like I said, like, it puts me in positions with people that I would never be with, Like, we probably wouldn't be hanging out right now if I wasn't doing this. Even dude upstairs, and I'm staying in his damn house for like 2 weeks, probably wouldn't get to talk like that, like the way we are on here. You know what I mean?
It's nice to put down your phone, or not in front of a screen, and actually connect with people.
Yeah, man.
And that's what happens nowadays is that people are so concerned with what's in their little iPhone and phones, tablet.
Like, yo, sometimes I kind of want to get rid of them. And the only reason I don't is from the old idea of like, I make stuff, so I need to like put it out, you know? So I'm like, so I do. But like, man, like it was killing me to the point where, like, first off, I was getting too good at maybe like it wasn't getting the numbers, but I was designing like better and different things to post. And I was like, dude, this ain't even what I wanted to do. I wanted to do these things. And like now I'm just making social media cuts. So I kind of like limited what I allowed myself to do. And then I started doing the daily raps like that I do. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but like, and I'm like, okay, that made it at least interesting again, you know? Because now I'm like, okay, I get excited to post because I'm gonna, one, practice writing stuff, and then two, like I'll rap it out on a beat. So now I'm training. So now I just look at that as training. And then I try very hard to not use it. And when I do post, I try very hard to not look at the feed because
The likes.
well, no, not even for me. I mean, like you, like, or you, or them, him, like everybody. I try not to look at the feed because those aren't my stories, you know. I'm trying to focus on my story because I'm still writing my book, you know, and I don't want to get distracted. Nothing against what everybody else is posting, but I'm trying to not get sucked in because it's easy to get sucked in and scrolling up, and I still do even now. But I'm like, I want to. Just like I said, create versus consume. I want to put it out there and like, now go be productive in life, you know, like instead of like go scroll up on the phone for an hour. So
Yeah, I mean, people learn differently. They get information from.
No, I still
things.
learn on the phone a lot.
Yeah,
I was just saying literally like using Instagram and stuff. That's all.
I was just gonna say that if you're aware of it, that's a good start. You know, a lot
Yeah.
of people aren't aware of how much time they spend on their phone or tablet or computer or whatever.
Because I don't even be enjoying it most of the time. And most of the time it's just like, well, I'm just looking at shit. Like that's it. I'm just looking at
I
shit.
do that with Wikipedia a lot.
But at least just like learning. But
I'm
yeah,
consuming
when
information.
yo,
right?
wait, that was I haven't done that in years, but Wiki's a danger of that too. You can like, really? Oh shit. Who knew this guy did something in 1806? That's fucked up. You know? Like,
Yep. I do that a lot.
but maybe you just like learning shit.
I do. I
Yeah.
like to take in information a lot. And I like my friends told me that I'm like a walking Wikipedia. And like sometimes when we watch movies together, she's like, you're one of those like little pop-up things that you click on and go, in 19 blah blah blah, this person blah blah blah.
VH1 with the music videos back in the day.
Yeah, little pop-up
Yeah,
facts.
yeah.
That's what they call me.
Little pop-up facts.
You're like the pop-up random facts that just know stuff. And I'm like, thanks. I don't know. I was like, that's
Hey,
a good
man.
thing or...
It's a nice way of calling you smart. There you go. You
Well,
know
no,
shit.
I mean, it could be positive, could be negative, but I'm just going to assume it's positive.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're fact lady. That's it.
Because it just... And then sometimes I look at I'm like, why can't I remember important shit? Like what days my laundry should be done versus
Because
like...
that's not important, man. It's boring. It's laundry.
Versus like, I know that, you know, like...
What do
I
you
can't
know?
think of a random
Give me a
fact right
fact.
now.
Yes, you can. Give me a fact.
About what?
I don't know. About that TV.
About that TV.
About-
Samsung is a Korean brand.
Yeah, I know.
And yeah, I don't know.
Come on, you're not living up to fact lady's name.
I can't. I'm actually really hungry.
Got you. Got you. All right, let me start to
Can I
end
wind
this.
down a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That way we can get you food.
Wait. How long have we been talking?
It's 1 hour and 17 minutes.
Holy shit, we talk a lot.
That's good though.
I talk a lot.
That's good. That's the whole point.
That's my job.
Is it really?
Yeah, I'm on the phone all day for 10 hours. For 10 fucking hours.
I used to do that. That was my last real-time job. It was fucking horrible. It's fucking horrible. Like,
Man.
if you're talking about positive mindset, like, congrats to you that you can do it that much. Like, both that job and the like every time I ask you a stray question, you give me positive mindset. But
Well, that's the thing. Apple is very much about assume positive intention and positioning things positively. And you know what? It at first it was annoying I hope no Apple executives are fucking watching this. But point is, it helps. It changed my outlook with life because, I used to be like negative or just like I don't think outside of the box. But now that, I'm like constantly training my customers on the phone to look positively. Like I lost all these photos. What do you say to these people that lost like 5,000 photos of their...
You got so much room to take more 5,000 photos now.
I cannot do anything about the photos that you've lost, and I'm so sorry about it, but I can teach you how to prevent this from ever happening again. Here, let me walk you through positive positioning. Yeah. There you go. And then it changed my mindset too. Like now in my life, like I said, like with music, I'm like, yeah, man, Lil Pump is a shithead, but I mean, there's gotta be some type of things that he's doing that people are liking him. Maybe there's a good side to him, but you know what? I'm never gonna fucking listen to his music, so it doesn't matter. But I'm not gonna throw trash at him if he's on stage.
Yeah, no, I would never do that. No, even if I didn't like people, I'd never get that part. the throwing of trash at people.
I mean, kids nowadays, kids are smart. Younger kids are smart. They know what sells. So they kind of just grab onto that and just run with it. And when we were kids, we did the same thing. We know how to manipulate our parents to get what we want. And so we just take that and run with it. So these kids are doing it with media, social media, and the crowds. So, I mean, you can't hate them for that. They are smart. But I'm still not gonna listen to his fucking music. It's trash. So
that's what I wanted. Thank you.
I don't know what the fuck is wrong with Kanye, but
now you sound like me. That shit's trash. That shit's trash.
I never said it wasn't trash. I just didn't say. I just
your preference, that.
It's just not my preference. Like like I have friends that like Lil Pump. I'm like, all right, go like Lil Pump.
Yeah, no.
We're still friends, but
yeah,
fuck Lil Pump. But didn't he have like this beef with J. Cole or some shit?
I don't know. I feel like one of these little guys almost had beef with like Russ recently too.
Yeah, there was Lil Pump.
Was it?
He's just like, and he even talked about it. He's like, no, I'm done having beef with J. Cole. I'm gonna have beef with
Russ.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Again, he's grabbing what sells and just running with it. So like,
yeah, that's why
kid's smart, but
I guess, but
he's music's still trash and dumb. So, hang on.
Bacon.
But
so I got real quick. Mm-hmm. Where are you from?
Taiwan.
Mm-hmm. So like this is I kind of guessed that, or maybe I knew it already. I don't know. So I was hearing this. I don't know how I got it. Probably Twitch. Twitch is where I got it from because I watch a lot of international shit that I'm trying to cut off. Mm-hmm. You ever heard of this group though?
One Tone. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been around for a while.
I heard that album earlier this year. Their new one. It's pretty good. It's really
interesting. I can send you like international. That's one of the good things about my how versatile and accepting I am of music. Because I grew up from like when I was a baby till 12. I grew up in Taiwan, so I had a lot of like Asian music influences. And then I come here, and I didn't learn what hip hop or R&B, what they are, until I came here, and I fell in love with it. And then as a DJ, I'm like, that's the only genre I want to play. So, and then like when I solidified that genre, I start branching out like, oh, house is dope. Trap can be dope. Different genre. I just can't do dubstep. It just makes me want to stab myself.
I liked it in the old days, like before
I like old
Skrillex.
school.
Yeah.
Well, see, even old school Skrillex sounded better than new school.
But I put it in the middle because he made this album that I thought was great, album 2, and that's the one that blows him up, or EP 2. It's the one after My Name Is Skrillex. I can't remember. Something in Bright Stuff. Something in some.
Is it the scary monster?
Yeah.
You see, that's that. I like that.
No, I like that one too.
Or In for the Kill.
Yeah, but what that album did was like it pioneered what the American sound would be, and everybody else ends up sounding like him, and that's why I say before and after Skrillex.
Well, thanks to Diplo, like fucking trap sounds like Diplo.
Yeah, yeah.
The old school trap, if you listen to them, like it has its own like. It has every genre has its own formula if you think about it, but it sounded different back in the days, and now trap just all sound the same because of fucking Diplo, you dipshit. Anyways, now trap sounds all like twerk.
Tell me something. Do you think? Because I these are genres that I'm not my strongest things, but I had friends like Tomas, right?
Yeah.
So he would be way more into this shit than me, but like. I feel like had these guys been more prolific tonight, you remember Tonight?
Yes.
Hudson Mohawk and the other guy, Lunas, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if those guys I feel like they were positioned to be the electronic trap kings, but they do like nothing. They never like they put out like that EP and then they put out one song like, all right, we good. Like had they been like consistent the way all EDM people do and they just ship music out,
I think they're smart because see the thing is when trap first came out and it sounded different and every song sounded like its own individual song, I played it.
Yeah.
I played trap so much back then when nobody knows what trap is.
Because it's unique and it's different.
And then and once it hits mainstream, I just completely dropped it. Yeah. Because from that point on, like I said, everything sounded like fucking Torque. Thank you, Diplo. And then so I think they might have made the right choice, just abandon the genre because like now it sounds like the fucking same. So maybe they move on to something bigger and brighter.
No, they're fine. Like Lunas finally did his solo stuff, and I don't really know what's going on with Hudson anymore. I don't know.
Hudson is he's Kanye's producer.
Yeah,
I feel
like he's never happy about that though. He's always complaining like, "Yo, they never choose my beats." like they want the safe stuff. Like you're just saying, they want the stand. And he's out here doing more experimental shit. And
that's why they drop trap. Because it's like, okay, now people hold you to that standard. Now you're going to pump shit out. That sounds like formulated trap songs. And then you lose your creativity. And then you start hating the shit that you do. And then you just don't want to do it anymore. I told you, when music becomes a job, unless you're like determined like fucking Beyonce, there's like you have to fend off the whole politics and shit, and and at the end of the day you're like, do I even like what I'm doing anymore? Do I still love music? Yeah. And I got so tired of my residency for a little bit that some shit happened to where like I just stopped doing it, but in my head I was just like, this is exhausting. Like I'm here every Saturday. I could go see other shows,
yeah, it does
right?
Drain you.
And I could hang out with my friends and discover new music. But no, instead I'm here, and I know what works here. That what music and what song I play at what time will work and will bring the crowd. And then it got to the point where it was just like mind numbing.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it's autopilot. Now you're driving a car.
Yeah.
You're not thinking no more. Yeah.
And then I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And that was financially it took a hit. But then again, it's not all about money. So I started hating DJing. And I took a break for a good 6 months almost, that I'm just like, I want to do this. It reminds me of the past, and I'm not being creative anymore. I don't enjoy it. I don't smile anymore. It's not fun. And then I played for the very first time in 6 months. It's like a brand new thing, and I'm like, I remember how much I love DJing again. This is so fun. Thank you, everybody. Like, yeah, that was a good moment. But
I ended up, I think, like when I played with you, like we only had 2 people. It was me, the rapper, and the horn player, the trumpet player. But like, I built that group up to like 7 people. Like we had a drummer and all that. But like, it got to a point where like it was real fun, but I was like the only one. I was the only one doing it. So like I had to end it because now that like the activity was killing me, like, and it just wasn't good. Like
biting off too much, more than you can chew.
Yeah, it was just a lot of shit, and it's like So I had to
It's
kill
hard.
it. And after that, I was like, yeah, I think I'm done with live playing. Because all the narratives and stories that I like that I'm trying to make my own version of, I'm like, none of them do this live thing. So, like, why am I doing this? You know, like, everybody I like is an internet thing. So, like, why don't I just put stuff online and whatever happens, you know? So, and I'll just be slightly more at peace.
Slightly more. just slightly.
Yeah, I still have the internal battle. But,
I think everybody has that, but it's fine.
there's a bunch.
As long as you can control your demons.
I'm still trying to do that too, man. It's hard. But there's a few, like we were talking about Twitch earlier, a few Taiwanese Twitch streamers, and one of them is actually a guy from Detroit. But
there's a DJ from Japan that streams, and he gets a lot of money on Twitch.
What's his name?
Shit.
There's only one guy I got, like, he has a name with a P. Pun something. I have him on Discord.
I don't remember here. Let me see. Twitch. And he's funny. He gets like shit face, and he gets on Twitch, and then he starts streaming, and he just like, then you know how like Asians love karaoke. He just gets on the mic and starts
Everybody
singing.
in Japan.
Like, oh my god.
Everybody in Japan that I have on Twitch, and some of the ones in Taiwan. Oh man, those are streams I don't like to watch. The karaoke streams.
Oh my dude, like, okay, so I used to remember that bar I was talking about that doubled up as a karaoke bar.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
and this is not being racist or anything, but
Yeah.
any other ethnicity group, it's easier for me to just be like,
that guy Pon whatever on the top right there. That Pon.
I don't know.
He's a Japanese DJ on Twitch.
But yeah, if you're American, you're born here, any other ethnicity group, if you tell them, hey, you know, we're closing, they're like very cordial, very polite, and go, okay, yeah, you know, ready, wrap it up and go. Fucking Asians would not leave. You have to pry the microphones like off of their hands. And I've gone as far as unplugging the machine. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. It's 4 a.m. Okay.
Singing is fun.
I
man.
have dogs to feed. I don't. Shut the fuck up. But oh my god, it's horrible. I don't know. I don't know what our culture is. Is that
There's a Twitch office in Taiwan, and there's one of the biggest. He's moved into, you know, leadership, real life role now, so he's not as meaningful, but he still is a top player in Street Fighter. But yeah, one of the top players of Street Fighter 4 is from Taiwan.
yeah.
His name was Gamer B. I actually worked with his now wife at Evo, which is the biggest fighting game tournament in the world.
Really?
But I didn't know it was his girlfriend. I just thought this girl, she just really nice, wanted to help everybody volunteer. And I'm like, just talking to her normal. And then like on the last day, like, oh, you're Gamer B's girlfriend. I didn't know that. And I'm like, oh shit, you work for Twitch too? I'm like I didn't know anything.
Wow.
And like, yeah, I just like, yeah, like, oh, you're cool. Like, let me just add you. I'm like, face, like, cool, yeah.
Do they have like a office here?
In Austin, or you mean in Taiwan? They have one.
No, Austin.
No, they have. I feel like San Francisco and New York,
Okay.
and maybe more, but San Francisco and New York are the main ones I know.
I just watched this girl. I mean, not girl. This guy, Ninja.
You watch
And
Fortnite? You watch?
I play for a little bit, but
Oh my
I
gosh.
suck so much that I'm just like, fuck this game. Because people play night and day. Like,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
no fucking way you're as good as them. Like,
That's
when
their
you.
life. They don't got time to do things like DJ because they too busy playing Fortnite, man.
Yeah, and then, or have a job like at Apple.
Well, they made the right choice and played a real game like Fortnite that pays that way because other games don't pay.
Well, a lot of them were like Halo players. They're OG Halo players that kind of just.
Keep updating with the new games.
I mean, they have the muscle memory for shooting
yeah.
games already, and then they kind of just like go ham. And so it doesn't really matter what platform you're playing on. Fortnite, Halo, Counter-Strike, Black Ops. I mean, they're all shooting games. So, you know, you have your certain left trigger is shoot, and then right is aiming, and then you move your joystick depending on what console, you know, Xbox, PlayStation. I'm a gamer.
Yeah.
So
You still actively game?
I don't I grew up on PlayStation and Nintendo, and my parents love Nintendo shit. So they never really liked playing shooting games. So I never grew up playing like Halo or shit like that. I always get murdered within the first 5 minutes. So I'm like, this is not fucking fun. I just keep losing.
Halo
Fuck
comes
y'all.
out when my first time I quit games because of college. So I never got much into Halo. But growing up, I was a big gamer and everything. But fighting games always had a special place in my heart. And then like even when I quit games, man, I just kept doing that. And even right now, man, I sold all my stuff again. I still follow the fighting game scene, so I know like, you know, all the famous stuff. Even right now, I had a meeting with people earlier, and I'm like telling them, yo, like, do you know anybody in Dallas for like esports or something? Or just anyone in esports, because Dallas is about to open up the biggest esports stadium in America, you know? And first thing's in November 11th, I think, around that time. But yeah, like
Esports is getting big.
it is. I'm gonna get a job in it. That's why. Like,
Hey, do it. I have friends that are talking
but
about
I'm a
it.
fan of fighting games, and it's like, yo, man, it's that crevice is like, like it's not like
Usually,
Fortnite. It's not like where there's all
it's
this money and shit.
But actually, my friend had a really good pitch. Like, he had an idea. I'm not going to talk about it. Maybe he's going to choke me if I tell him. It's fine. But my best fighting game, Soul Calibur.
Oh, there's a new one coming out.
Yeah,
And-
I played the beta, and then because
You play the betas?
Yeah, so
do you stream or something?
No,
Okay. I was
it's
like,
too much work.
it's
I'm not trying to do all that.
No, it's not.
I'm not tech savvy in this aspect. So
You work in Apple technical support.
I know how the ins and outs of your Apple products. It don't mean that I know how to work Twitch fucking stream. I mean, actually, it's not that hard. Technologies are very like intuitive nowadays. So if you just read up on it, do a little research, you can do it. I just didn't want to put
There's
all that
YouTube
work in it.
videos for everything else.
Yeah, and no, they still haven't announced certain characters, but my girl is in there, so I don't give a fuck. Xianghua is my best character. I can
Okay.
beat anybody's ass with it. I have a nemesis though. My friend Megan, I cannot beat her. I cannot beat that girl, but everybody beats Megan except me.
Yeah. No,
She's one of those. I'm like,
Best
why?
matchups, man. That happens.
It's like you always have a kryptonite, and then they're not even that strong when they go against your other friends because she loses to other friends. But when I play her, it just like,
You
completely
need to
crushes
film
me.
some of those matches and then watch it in post. And
I will film it when I win against Megan.
No. All right, look. What you do is you film it. I don't know nothing about Soul Calibur's any because those were not my games. Like, but you film it and then we can watch it and I can point out some stuff. Yo, no, because
Damn, you're on that coach level.
Yeah, no,
All right.
I do. Like, I was playing Hyper Fighting today at Liberty Bar with Falcon Fucker.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like over here like, man, dude, like whether I'm winning or losing, I'm pointing out all these things. Like, I've watched way too much of Street Fighter, like, or all the fighting games, but Street Fighter was definitely my main one.
See, I'm like that with shooting games, but I can't play shooting games.
You know what?
I could do Halo. I can call all the maps, but
I believe because I haven't put in the time, but yeah, I talk all this shit, but yo, like, yeah, no, I'm trash at fighting games too, though. Like, I'm trash.
no, I mean they do have a coaching position for
Yeah.
Halo teams.
Yeah.
And you gotta watch all the players. You gotta call out the maps, and then like I watch my friends play so much that I'm like, up top, down the bridge, in the tunnel, in the cafe, 12 o'clock, and blah blah blah. And this, your teammate is going this way. Your enemy is rerouting, and shit, it's popping out. I told you, but like. I can't execute all that stuff that they're executing, but there is a position for coaching. Like if you go to tournaments, there's a coach. Like they're watching all the little blind spots that the players don't.
And also, I'm not gonna get into it now, but just like with hip hop, there's some shit with fighting games where they're also getting they're made in ways like to be mainstreamified right now that are pissing me off. Like,
what do you mean?
Making them simpler, putting input lag on purpose. Street Fighter 5 is the most guilty of this. Dragon Ball Z also, unfortunately, is also guilty of this. But that makes sense. It's Dragon Ball Z. But I don't know. Do you know any of the Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue games and all that? Well, it's a company that made that company was hired by Namco to make Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
But overall these games are still good. But like, I think through the success of that, like Guilty Gear is this like legendary game for a lot of people like fighting games. But so is cult status bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they were like, we are never making complicated Guilty Gear games again, because I think they saw little taste of the rainbow with that Dragon Ball, and they like, oh. All right, let's keep, because all their games that they've been releasing, they've been like limiting buttons, getting rid of this, doing that, and I'm like, oh man, what is going on? They're big pioneers of the one button combos. Like, oh, what are we doing, dude?
You know what? I actually had a friend that was talking about that, but since I don't play those games, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Sounds interesting. I just know like a certain video. This is again what I heard. I can only speak for games that I've actually played or watch people play. But like I heard a lot of games would get hand down to other companies, and then they would like tweak it or like completely change the gameplay or like the controls, and then like people get pissed off, like Halo.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, that happens. I think. I was way younger, so I didn't even pay attention to things, but I feel like, games like, and we like these games, but like games like Street Fighter 4 and 5, they're not really made by Capcom. They're made by some company Capcom hired now, like no one does anything no more,
Right.
For like Final Fantasy, like a lot of the people
Square
who
Enix.
made, Square shit is dead.
Ooh.
Right, because we're in, or no, that's what it's called.
No,
right?
Kingdom Hearts coming.
Squaresoft, sorry. Remember?
Squaresoft.
That was the OG one.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that company's dead. And for a lot of people...
No, Kingdom Hearts coming out.
No. All right, so they're Square Enix now.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people who liked the older games, right? Everything up to FF11 was made by Squaresoft. And then Enix buys them out and they become Square Enix.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's a different company. That isn't Squaresoft, It's not the same philosophies.
I won't criticize them until I see. Well, I don't like the new Final Fantasy, but
did you like?
Let's see how they do with Kingdom Hearts.
Did you? Final Fantasy 15, unfortunately, was the last game I played, and then I sold all my stuff.
See, I don't remember the numbers, but I remember one that has like Okay, so one was like an online one. It's almost like World of Warcraft. I play World of Warcraft.
There's two online ones, 11 and 14. Like, what system? Or you played it on?
PlayStation 4.
Then that's probably a 14.
14.
Yeah.
I played that for a little bit, but it reminded me too much of like World of Warcraft because I played World of Warcraft for a long time.
Yeah, they were trying to challenge that computer market with those online ones.
And once it started reminding me of that, and that's how I got sucked into the black hole of fucking World of Warcraft. So I'm like, you're not getting me with this shit again.
Yeah.
So I quit, but Charlie was playing which Final Fantasy was it? It wasn't online, but it was like a long ass storyline. The actual gameplay wasn't that long, but it takes a lot of time to travel from like point A to point B. And like I remember him getting really irritated.
Was he in a car?
Yeah. And then you can upgrade your car.
Final Fantasy 15, man, that shit's trash, yo. It's like, let's go for a ride, man.
And then you can upgrade your car and it could fly. I'm like, what?
That game, a lot of things, like, so in my new older, wiser self, right? Like a lot of things I don't like. Mm-hmm. I shit on them, yes, but I shit on them like that first week. But then like I kind of removed a lot of that shit from my head, so I can't even tell you what I didn't like about that game anymore. But because it was so bad that I didn't want it. But one of the main parts, I don't know why people play RPGs, right? Like especially like once the Western RPG came, it became things like and I know Bloodborne is Japanese, right? But I believe it's Japanese, but like that's pretty much Japanese Western RPG. You know what I mean? Like the Western RPG is action RPG, you know?
Right.
But I think the story for me was like one of the big things, and FF15 story is dog shit. Like that's facts. That shit's facts. I'm sorry. And so I've never played 13, but I always hear the same thing about 13 as well.
My favorite is still 10.
Thank you. That is.
Yeah, 10 is great.
10 Yo, 10 is amazing. Yo, there's a guy. He's a he's
No, I don't like the 10
2.
2.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
I
but
tried
10.
playing that as when it came out, and I couldn't. I just stopped. I bought it, and I probably sold it to GameStop or something. But yo, there's a guy called Retro Gaijin on Twitch, and he played FF10 recently, like a week, and I was like, no way, and I ended up watching like almost the whole thing, and it was the first game.
Though.
I mean, I did play it, but like
I suck at it.
The game, but like that man, I was watching that, yo, and I was like, first off, I was like, I can't believe I played this as a kid because I was like, I don't remember any of this shit, and like in terms like of understanding the story, I'm like, that's what's going on, because I guess now I'm older and more mature, so I can understand certain things. But I was watching that, and that was the first. I hate doing the same thing again. Like I hate playing games again. Not like fighting games because that's what you do.
Yeah,
but like I hate like one player stuff. I hate doing it again.
So you don't like watching the same movie again?
No.
What? You're weird.
No.
I like rewatching
Except for
stuff.
Infinity War.
Oh God. Okay. Not the classic, but Infinity War.
Yeah. No, I mean like. I'd rather not, you know what I mean? I'd rather just watch a new movie. Why do I need to see it again? Like, or like, there are some classics, but like overall, like from the 90s, like I love Terminator 2. I will watch that again. Like, or I was flipping channels, I was visiting my mom, and Speed was on. I'm like, I'm watching Speed. I remember where I saw Speed first time in my life, and it was like I was a little kid in my uncle's thing, and my uncle worked at a bank, so he had money, you know, like, and he had a big ass TV, and it's like the first time I see Sandra Bullock, and I thought she was so hot, and like, and she also looked like this girl who I had a crush on, like during like 4th through 8th grade, but you know, like I'm too shy to talk to her, but like it's her, but it's not because I'm a kid.
Your emotional attachment to it. Okay.
Well, but just being on a bus and shit, I was like, yo, this is fucking wild. Now you watch it now, and like the effects from the 90s are not strong, but I'm like, yo, this is still wild, yo. Like, I don't know, man. Like, but no, I'm watching FF10 anyway. Like, and it was, I was like, yo, I was getting this feeling. I was like, yo, I think I want to play this game. Like, I think I could fucking play this game, like, from 0 to 100, like, and I think I would enjoy it. And I'm watching the story, yo, and I'm like, yo, the story's fucking good, man. This story is so good, and I'm like, to the point, yo, like, well, I watched what I watched live, but then, like, some other stuff would happen, and he's in Japan, so he's streaming at dumb o'clock, you know? Like, I went to the archives and watched, like, scenes I wanted to see. I was like, yo, they did the wedding scene. Yo, the wedding sequence with, like, sliding on the chain. Like, this shit. Like, just sliding on the chain. I was like, yo, like, that's so good.
I know.
That was so good.
It's the nostalgic, like, part of it, you know?
Well, yo, first, I forgot that was even in the game. Like, he was like, because and you know what was good? What was real good about watching this? Because sometimes I tend to think, like, oh, okay, I'm old. And I'm just hating on the new. But he owned Nintendo products growing up, so he never played this game. So he's also like in his like either young 30s or old 20s, you know. And he's at the end of him playing it, he was like, "Dude, why don't they make games like that no more?" And I was like, "This guy's not biased because this is his first time playing it. He don't even like this shit like that. That was his first Final Fantasy." Like, so I'm like, I was pretty impressed. But honestly, fuck what he think. I'm watching the ending. Yo, I'm fucking crying. Yo, I'm like. I watched the ending like 10 times, yo. Like even now, like I watched it now, like when he was playing it, and even him, he didn't cry, but like there's 2 moments, yo. Like I'm like I feel like the tears is coming
where
right
he
now.
like realized the dad is the
oh no, I'm talking
final.
about the very end. Like there's all those scenes are good too, but I mean like
people disappearing or just
yeah, he's gonna disappear,
evaporating,
man. And but like she runs after him and she goes through him, and even he the guy streaming, he was like, shit, you know.
This shit is real.
I was like, yo, I must have watched that shit like 10 times, yo, because that was like, that's like a good fucking scene, yo. Like, and then because he just wants to go to like, you know, be like the whole man, I don't even want to deal with emotions thing, you know. So he's just going because he's just like, and he's being fucking Titus or Titus, like he's being stupid. Like, this is my story, you know. like all right, dude, calm down, you know. Like he just keeps saying that for some reason. But yeah, so he's just walking away, and then she runs after him and goes through him, and I'm like, But once she sees that, you know, like, even though I guess he can't touch her or whatever, like, he puts the arms around her and shit. And I'm like, fuck, dude, that's so good. I just thought I was
You're making me. Yeah, I remember.
it was so
that
good.
scene.
And then I heard it was bad translation, but honestly, considering like their whole journey, I think it's still good. Like,
I mean,
she
you
says,
get the point
she says, I
across.
love you. Yeah, she says, I guess, I think in Japanese maybe she says thank you, but I was like, dude, like they're kind of like based on like the American story like that.
Well,
That's told to
arigatou
me.
gozaimashita is thank you. Aishiteru is I love you. So I don't know what they said, but I never seen the Japanese version.
Me neither, but like,
So.
but yeah, but you know, Twitch chat knows everything now, so they made
My
they
grandma's
made it
Japanese.
known. They made it known that was bad translation.
Ah,
I ended up rewinding because I was like, there's only one. I saw all the scenes I wanted to see, but there was one scene missing, so I had to rewind in the archive, and I needed to see the underwater scene, and I saw that shit like 5 times too. It's the underwater scene.
Yeah.
She's depressed and she doesn't want to be a summoner no more.
Uh-huh.
And he goes in there and does movie stuff where it's like, you can do it, or like, we don't even have to do it. We can just run away. We can just run away. And then it goes from PlayStation graphics to like the CGI amazingness of the time, you know?
Right.
And then I think this very Japanese song plays like
Yes.
and they try talking because now they're in the real CGI, but then he just quickly kisses her and then magically they're swimming underwater and some weird shit. Some under the sea.
I remember that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Like,
I just remember playing that game and then arguing with my siblings because we were all trying to play the game and everybody saved with different progress. And then there's this one time I was fighting a boss and then my Danny, this motherfucker, my brother, is like tripped over the power cord and then it just stopped.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, are you fucking kidding me? My dad's like, you better run upstairs. She's got to kill you. And Danny's like, oh shit. That was, yeah. And now I remember the stories. My whole family cried because my youngest brother is the one that passed everything, like the game. And then we were all sitting on the couch watching the last scene, and we were like, "Oh my God,
dude!" Like, I don't know what I was watching when I was there because I'm watching this and I'm like, it's like I'm watching this for the first time. Like, but like, yeah, it's like the whole, dude. Another scene that was great, yo. Like, just. He doesn't know that like when you do the summoner's journey that she dies, you know, so he's always encouraging her and always while everybody's like, the fuck you doing, man, you know, like and then when whatever Riku's tribe is called, I can't remember what they're called.
I remember.
Yeah, the Albed, and the Albed town is burning, but that's when he finds out like that she's gonna die, you know? I'm like, that was a good scene too, man. And then when they make it to Xanarkin, so now you're seeing the images of Oron, and if I'm saying it right, Oron and Jack's journey and Braska, like you're seeing like the journey before while they're doing the journey now, and they reach Unaleska and they're like, nah, man, we're gonna do it another way, and like they just get the confidence and shit. I was like, so good, man. So good.
A lot of old school stuff, actually. Like I said, I like things that has meaning, a whole meaning, or just a full of content and information.
I went down the wiki well for that after I did, because I started looking up, like, well, what are these guys doing who wrote this shit? And surprisingly, a lot of them all work in leadership positions still. But they also, that seemed to be like a perfect scenario and a changing of the guard that game. Because the first time Nobu doesn't do all 100% of the soundtrack, he shared it with 2 new dudes who go on to do other stuff. And that guy, all the writers seem to have to compromise at that point where now they have more power. And I feel like 13 was really what they wanted to do. I never played 13, so I can't hate on it like everybody else does. But he was like giving examples of what he thinks character development should be like and stuff. And they didn't really get to do all that in 10 verses. They got to do that. And it's like, man, but it works so good. But
see, I guess everybody has their own vision.
For sure.
So
the creator's burden.
And yeah, so like I just see it as like after 10, I kind of just see it as like an end of an era of like this generation.
It was the beginning and the end because the first one was voice acting.
Yeah, and then later on they change writers or whatever. And
one of the biggest mistakes they do probably is do 11 because one, the world wasn't ready because 11 is also online. So it's not a real Final Fantasy. You know, it's Warcraft.
One of those only,
It's Warcraft,
World of Warcraft, yeah.
And they're doing it on systems primarily at the time, you know, so like not computers like they should be. So it's not the same story attachment, you know.
No, it's not.
12, I couldn't. I never finished 12, and I never thought that game sucked, but I never finished it. And this is where they start pioneering, like, okay, no longer turn-based. Now you're like programming your people because they were trying to simulate online play via you by yourself. And
like MMORPG.
Yeah, and then same thing. I never played 13, but 15 does the same thing. Like you got your 3 car buddies.
See, I lost count. Like after 10, I stopped paying attention because like I'm hearing like not positive stuff.
Yeah.
And also like I noticed as I get older, I don't have the patience that I used to have where I could sit in front of a TV and play RPG for like 10 fucking hours.
Yeah. They're dangerous games.
Yeah, and now I'm just like, I don't have time for this shit. I got shit to do.
Yeah.
I gotta go to work at 8 a.m. in the morning, so this can wait. And then once I put down the controller, it kind of just like, it sits there and collect dust.
It's sometimes I think, and maybe this is probably a very bad thought, but sometimes I think like a lot of those things that are super fun, I almost feel like, man, those are like joys that maybe the rich people get to do or something, like, because I feel like, man, if I want to do what I want to do, I don't get to do those things, you know. At least not now. Maybe one day, but like at least not now.
Well, that's kind of pathetic too. If you're so rich that you need video games to
no,
fill
not that
your
you
void.
need them, but that you're free enough that like, okay, I can waste a day playing 10 hours on this RPG because
I'm not saying
gonna
video
take a
game
hit.
is bad, but I mean there's
It's not.
other productive things that you could do versus video games.
It's not. There's other things I like too.
That's the thing right now. I see video games more or less like a stress relief. And, you know, I'm not on it very long. I can't. I simply can't focus on a video game for longer than 2 hours. I try to play World of Warcraft again. I don't have the same patience as when I was in high school. Like in high school, I could do quest after quest after quest. Now I'm like, this is bullshit. This is a quest within a quest and then another side quest. I don't have time for all this. So I would find myself hitting hard for like, I would binge play it for like maybe say 4 hours and I'll never touch it again for another like 3 months. And then I'll get the urge to be like, I think I can do this.
Yeah.
And then I play and I'm like, nah, it's all good.
I think like I want to be good at those things. And because I want to be good, I know it takes time. So I don't allow myself to play them because I don't just want to play them.
Do what you think it's worth.
Yeah, I want to be great at it. And there was the ex of New Orleans was actually a top Street Fighter player in around Street Fighter 3 days. And he quit for the same reason because it's like it's hard to play these games and have it be casual. A lot of us want to be godlike at it, you know? So we almost have to just remove it, you know?
I don't have that addictive personality or like that whole like I must be great.
Yeah.
Because
fighting games are also kind of based on winning too, so it probably causes that, you know?
Well, no, to me it's like, is it worth it that I be a goddess in this game? Like, what does it bring me?
Winning. I don't know. Like,
you know, like I can win and other things and make money and make my life easier at the same time. So do I really want to dwell on
but you're
this?
thinking that right now in your current age. Like,
well, true.
Like,
see, you're more practical when you're like, because I'm 30 now.
This is why I don't play. But this is what I'm saying. Like, those feelings of wanting to be great come up when I do play them. So I'm like, probably just be best if I don't play them.
I've done no, I get that. Like sometimes with Cell Calibur I can do with Megan, like I said, she's like my kryptonite for some reason. And
rival.
And then this like competitive like overachieving shit just comes out and you're like, why the fuck can I beat this person? So no, I get it, but like you said, it's probably better not to trouble yourself with it because you get so mad and you're like, why am I not good enough? But we need to wrap it up because I gotta wake up early too.
But yeah, man, yo, if you gotta go now, we can wrap it up.
Yeah, I mean, we could do a part 2 if you want to. I think we covered a lot of stuff, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
and
man.
I like how versatile our subjects and topics are. Like, like we
I
went
told
from
you, the
music
first
to
question
video
was
game.
gonna be that, and then after that, it goes where it goes, man.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. It's it shows me as a person that just like not like a just DJ Jeska.
Yeah. This is
it's
like, I think because I come from music, a lot of people think there's some music podcast, and I explain like, not everybody's from music, and yeah, I just happen to know a lot of people from music because that's where I came from. But I mean, like, I'm more interested about the life and shit and the people and like where I'm going and where you going, where people going, everybody.
Yeah, that's cool. I like
That and
that.
Final Fantasy X is so fucking good. 'Cause it's so
I'm
fucking-
still on that, dude.
It's so amazing.
It's so
I
nostalgic.
can watch the ending right now. I want to see it right now.
You know what? It's probably different watching someone play.
It was.
And I get that perspective just because when I play, like I said, we were fighting. Like all the siblings
Yeah.
are fighting to play that game. So like I've been in the backseat just watching, and it's different. It's my heart. It's a childhood family bonding kind of thing because
That's
my
good.
parents.
I didn't get to do that with my family, so that's cool.
Oh, my
You got to
parents,
do it with
my
yours.
dad, my mom, and my dad. Like my very first console was Nintendo.
Mine too. Like the 8-bit, right?
No, it wasn't. It was the Super Mario World when it came out.
Oh, SNES.
Yeah, and then it was fucking
16-bit.
shitty as fuck because they want to pass the Super Mario World. They got a whole like those like cheating book.
Oh,
book.
shit. You
They
buy those?
used 2 days. They didn't sleep. They used 2 days to pass the whole thing. And of course, I was a little girl,
I
and
never understood that on first playthrough to just start using that stuff.
it's like a drug, more or less. Like you just want to get through
This
it.
is, and I won't go on this rant because we trying to get you out of here. But yo, like the same thing that happened with everything we've been talking about, where things change, and maybe it's the OG in me. Yo, before games come out, right? A lot of fighting game communities around here, the ones I know here, but all of them probably do it. Oh, Tekken 7's about to come out. They get the Tekken 7. It's not there. There's no cheating in fighting games, but the big book of Tekken 7 is. They just study the moves. Like, this is who I'm gonna play, even though they never played a game once. And I study all the moves, and they just sell the book right away. And it's just like, you ain't take time to learn the game, explore the game, see what's possible. You're just like ready to win, And it's just like, man, like that's how you get a lot of people playing the same. You don't get that unique individuality. That was a number one complaint of fighting games right now. It's very hard to express yourself creatively in fighting games currently because since they simpled it, they made it so simple that the game system isn't complex enough to break it the way we could break it in the old days, So by breaking, I mean, that's what fighting games do. You break it, and now the game is abused. But by breaking it, you're able to do all these cool things,
Well, it's all about shortcuts
Yeah.
nowadays. So, I mean, even with that, I just remember like sitting in the back because you're a child, and then your parents are gonna play, so they're not gonna hand you the controller. So
But that's
you're-
kind of cool though that you had that experience because only I wanted to play, and no one would play with me, right? Because
nobody was. They assign me a blank controller that's not even connected to the console,
That's
and they're
fucked
like,
up.
yeah,
That's
and then they're
fucked
like,
up.
look, Jesse, look, you're Mario, and I was like,
Well, I just mean that it's kind of cool they were in the room because my parents were, anti-gaming, and then my brother, right, he liked games, but I'm the mistake kid. It's actually confirmed. My mom actually called me on the phone once,
oops.
and yes, she told me that.
Oops.
Yes, she told
That's
me,
horrible.
but she's super religious, so she was like saying it all nice with it, and she was like, we didn't plan to have you, And I was like, I actually told her yes because I was like, I tell everybody this anyway because I kind of was like, well, I'm 33 right now, but everybody else is 50. So I'm like, something happened, like, but my brother, he would play and then like he would just leave. Like if we were playing a game, we are gonna take turns. He would just leave, and then then I'd play by myself. So I never got to play with or be around family like games. It was just me and the game.
Oh, that was our family bonding time.
Yeah.
They go hard. They still play World of Warcraft.
That's what's
I don't even know what
That's
expansion
funny.
they're on now. And then my
They
dad
just put out something recent because Twitch went
yeah,
crazy.
and my dad, I FaceTime them because they're overseas. They're in Taiwan, and then they're like, the new expansion, blah blah. I was like, Dad, I don't play anymore.
Does your family stream on Twitch?
I don't know.
I was just saying, just curious. They were starting to sound like it. They were starting. Well, that's a real thing. I
know.
See, so I don't use the socials as much, right? But I'm on the Twitch way too much that I started unfollowing people too because I was like, this is not healthy. Because now I'm just watching people and this is dumb. This is dumb. I'm just wasting my time.
I have friends. They when they work,
No, I don't blame them. I used to put it on at work too, though.
Yeah,
you're at work. You're at work.
Yeah, like my friend Hunter, my friend Spencer, when they are. Okay, first of all, I don't know how my friend Hunter, talks on the phone and watch Twitch at the same time. I was like, how do you troubleshoot and what the fuck?
I think you can watch it, but is he hearing it too with the earbuds? Because that's
know.
amazing if he's hearing it.
That's what trips me out, but I don't know. I'll ask him next time. But Spencer, though, Spencer's on the social team, so he does chat reply or Twitter reply, right? But so I have a lot of friends that kind of just set Twitch aside, and it's almost like TV, like that mentality. Remember I told you it's kind of to just look up and just look up. So it's definitely replacing TV. So it's kind of crazy.
Well, it is Twitch.tv. So
I used to be on a podcast when it was Justin.tv. Before I switch over to Twitch TV.
What podcast?
It's called 4-Player Podcast.
What did y'all do?
They talk about video games. So back then, my friend David, Nick, Brad, and Travis. So all four of them, they would, every time when there's a new game that comes out, they would play. And then, they would take them streaming it, depending on who's home and off of work. And then every Wednesday every week they would have a round table, and then they would discuss I was playing this game and then I like the gameplay or the story, and they go into a deep analysis of the game. And then they have cameras too, and and that was before Twitch was Twitch. It was Justin.tv. And I didn't realize that until my friend Spencer was like, Twitch used to be Justin.tv, and I was like, what? I was on it because I stream Mario World on Justin.tv.
I was on Justin TV for all the wrong reasons because they would show all the games from the NBA bootleg on there. Justin TV was the Wild West. It was when you can do anything on the internet.
So it was it was kind of like YouTube.
Yeah. So but
with interaction.
No copyright, nothing. I think one of the final straws was that someone killed themselves on Justin TV.
I heard about that. That was crazy.
But you saw me streaming with the phone now. Justin TV just became Twitch, because this is friendlier. All video games, they locked up the video game market, and they're slowly becoming Justin TV again. They're not. It'll never be that open because there's rules now. But yeah, they slowly want more real world content again, and now that America's infrastructure for internet still sucks, but it's at least decent enough that there was the actual Justin who used to walk around. He was streaming on 280p with a helmet and a
GoPro.
It was taped, yeah. We didn't have GoPros back then, but it was a taped crappy webcam, So the fact we can even use this, it's a step up,
That is crazy. So, yeah, technology, man.
But here, do these two things and we get you out of here. If you want people to find you online, where can they go?
Instagram. I have them all, but I go on binges. Sometimes I ignore them for a week, and then I'll go on it.
What's the name of your Instagram?
At this is Jessie 725. I have a SoundCloud. I can never remember the website. Type in DJ Jeska. You're gonna see my photo. Okay.
There you go.
Then I have a Facebook page too. Just type in DJ Jeska, and then it should be my DJ page.
Is that the SoundCloud the best place to hear your mixes?
I haven't updated. I'll be honest with you guys. I have not updated
But
my
it
mixes,
has something
but
from
it
you.
has.
Okay.
And also, you know, I like to go. SoundCloud is one of those websites that I use profusely to dig for unknown artists. They're not mainstream, but
I used
still
to do that
yeah.
a lot in the day, but I feel like it's no longer for what I like, so I don't use it as much.
I haven't used it in
Yeah.
a while, mainly because I don't DJ as much as I used to before. But that was my like record store.
Yeah.
I would when I repost something, that means I like the song and I would like to share it. Some DJs don't like to
Yeah.
share what they find. I'm like,
because that's their stash, but it's like that's how we all get better. I feel like if
I
we
know
just share
it's on the website. We're bound to stumble upon it. It's just you did first, but
Yeah.
who cares? So I if you want to know like what kind of music I like, you know, you go on SoundCloud and you're gonna see all the reposts that I did or liked. I do have my own mixes on there. They're mostly hip hop, one trap mix. That was like OG trap before Diplo fucked it up again.
Hashtag never forget.
Yeah, fucking dipshit Diplo. But yeah, Facebook, Instagram, they all have the same handle.
Yeah,
So they all connect to each other. I don't really use Snapchat. I just have it to kind of check on
I
my
have
cousin.
it too, and but at this point, I don't even check nothing as much as I just like on the Insta story. I just post it on all of them, and Snapchat I still have it, so I just post it there. But I honestly don't even open the app.
Yeah.
I turned off notifications, so like I see messages
I don't have
on there
notifications
like a day
either.
late
Yeah.
on there.
So I mean, I honestly only use it to check on my cousin.
Yeah,
Because you know she's in San Diego and she's the only person in California. So sometimes I check
sure.
on what she does. I don't really post on it. I don't think there's a point for Snapchat. You think they disappear, but they archive that shit. Just so y'all know.
Well,
So don't be
that.
posting shit like weed and cocaine or stuff. God, people are so stupid. Anyways, it's just me being old and going down a rabbit hole.
No, this is cool, man. I'll take it. I just like
Yeah, I mean, because kids are like, oh, it doesn't save. And I'm like telling my cousin, I was like, yeah.
But they say
You know how drunk you are right now? That video you just took on your Snapchat, it's archived. So if someone hacks into that database thing, you...
And
Not
even
that,
if they
you know,
don't,
anybody
they
cares
have
about
it,
you.
You know, they have it and they use it to create whatever data they need.
Yeah, exactly.
So
And then I
that-
told her, I was like, you know, I mean, you're not famous right now, but what if you're famous one day? Or, I mean, right now, nobody cares about you.
Sometimes I always tell people that all these podcasts are creating evidence for why companies shouldn't hire me. I mean, I don't do nothing really bad. I don't do nothing bad on these, but I'm just saying, like, I just feel like these podcasts are just a reason. Like, I'm sure if you watch all of them, I've done a lot, you know? You're like, okay, there it is. Episode 50 minute, 59 minutes in and whatever. This is why we shouldn't hire him. We found it, you know? like,
So, how you are on a daily basis does not translate into your work ethic.
oh, absolutely. But I mean, like, when you're applying and stuff, you know, people see whatever they see, you know?
Oh,
So
okay.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Well, I mean, if they really want to be that detailed, maybe that's why Apple doesn't hire you. I don't know.
that I'll go into that another time. But yeah, last words.
No, it was fun. I wish you continue this.
I'm down. Man.
I'm just I did make
get
it.
it.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
it
yeah,
was
believe
gonna...
me, I'm going to pass out after this too. But yeah, man, thank you for doing this. Bake that
No
chicken,
prob.
smoke that turkey, boosh.